Now look, the spirit of Christmas, according to verse 24, is a selfish spirit. It is a self-serving spirit. Me, myself, and I, the unholy Trinity. Me, myself, and I. Mi regalos de mi familia, regalos de mi casa, me. Can I hear a good amen? Amen. Everyone who is in that spirit of Christmas, it's a self-seeking, selfish spirit. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying? It's not an esteeming Bert better than me or Rachel better than me. No, it is giving to get. It is buying into the seed of Satan, Saint Nick, in the seed of Satan's last days manifestation of Santa Claus. So look at verse 23. All things are permitted, but all things don't profit. All things are permitted, but not everything sets apart and builds up my emunah. The spirit of Christmas is a self-seeking interest spirit. Verse 24, 1 Corinthians 10:24. But the Spirit of Yahweh seeks the benefit and well-being of the body, who all eat at one table, and they all eat only the living, whole, wheat, unleavened bread, somebody. Can I hear a good amen? I mean, can I hear a good amen? Amen. To that about Yahweh. Now here, this is a little divergence. I'm just going to go quickly so you praise Yahweh with me. Amen. I don't know how much this has. Well, it actually does. Now skip down. How many have their Bibles closed? Can I see your hand? How many have checked out and are not interested in this message? Can I see your hand? If you've checked out and checked into the Hotel California, let me see your hand, please. If you think you're Joe Walsh, let me see your hand, please. Good. That means everybody else has their Bible open, right? Amen. 1 Corinthians, now don't miss this now, because this is not in my notes and this is Revelation. 1 Corinthians 10 and 25. We just did 24, so now let's do 1 Corinthians, Korinthi Aleph 10:25. Now here's the way it appears in every Bible, including the earlier editions of the Restoration Scriptures, which is why with our Anna Angel you need the new compact or new edition to get some of this new corrections. Verse 25. Whatever is sold in the meat market, that eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. So it appears that the Christian, Paul, is telling Christians at Corinth, hey, we're not under the law. So, you don't know where it came from. It may have come from the Kentucky demon of Colonel Sanders' basement Santeria cult. It don't matter, because you love gold. And if you love gold, just eat, child, and don't ask no questions. That's the way it reads. Come on. Say, think about that, because some of you don't believe it. In every Bible, that's the way it reads. Ooh, you don't know where this food came from, Janet. So go ahead. Don't ask questions. Look at verse 25. 1 Corinthians 25. Whatever is sold in the meat market. I mean, you don't know who slaughtered it. You don't know if the meat was ever offered to an idol in a pagan temple. So go ahead, Zechariah. Eat the food and don't ask any questions. Shut up, because you know your conscience is clean before you. Goad. That's the way it reads in every Bible. Yes? Chris? Yes? That's the way it reads in every Bible. Marcel? Shaking your head is not going to change the truth. That's the way it reads, and that's the way it's taught. Now let's see how it really reads in the Aramaic and the Greek as well. See if this makes a difference. Whatever is sold in the meat market, and I'm tying this into Christmas, relax, verse 25, Korinthi Aleph 10:25. Whatever is sold in Publix, eat nothing, but ask questions. See the difference? Most translations say whatever is put in front of you, just eat, don't ask. No. The actual Greek and also the Aramaic in which the New Testament was written, the Brit Chadashah, says this. Whatever is sold in the meat market, do not eat or eat nothing. Ask questions about the food because of conscience sake, meaning your conscience before Yahweh. For the earth is the master Yahweh's and the fullness of it. So here we've corrected this. In the previous edition it says whatever is sold in the meat market, eat, don't ask questions. The actual Aramaic says no. Whatever is sold in the meat market, don't eat before you ask questions. You glad you came today? Do not eat, meaning, excuse me, Mrs. McGillicuddy, where did you get this meat? Where did you get the French fries? At Honey Ham? Well, the French fries are not honey or ham, you know, honey, but they were in the altar of Honey Ham. Meaning, if I've got to get French fries, I can get them at Burger King. Why do I have to get them from the altar of Honey Ham? In other words, Rachel, don't you put that French fry in your mouth until you ask questions. Once you've gotten satisfactory answers, you could eat. There's not a Bible in the world that reads like that, Raleigh. There's not one. And that's why you, and we could take that example and 100 times. I'm not going to go into a sales pitch. You know what I'm saying. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Okay. Now, verse 27. If any that does not believe, or that does believe, but is eating and practicing Gentile practices, if anybody invites you to a feast, you know, the word of Yahweh has the answer. You don't need Moshe Kanachowski to give you the answer. Lloyd, it's in the word. You hear me? It's in the word. Look at verse 27. If anyone that believes not, or, if we go back earlier, who is drinking 2 cups, the cup of Shadim and the cup of Eloha, they do believe, but they're drinking 2 cups. If any of them that believes not, or drinking 2 cups in context, invites you to a feast, and you desire to go, your initial response, your initial desire is to go, whatever is set before you. Now let's see how it reads in most versions. Verse 27. Whatever is set before you, ask no questions, eat baby eat. Correct? That's the way it appears in most versions, right? Come on! We're saved by the blood. We're washed in the blood. Don't worry about what you eat. Listen, Bert, if anybody invites you to a feast, don't ask questions. Be nice, be polite, and eat because you're clean by the blood and nothing can contaminate you, right? That's exactly the way it reads in most translations, right? Now let's say the way it really reads. Let's see how it really reads. In verse 28. So if they invite you to a feast, if someone says to you, hey, Merry Christmas, this is offered in sacrifice to idols or in celebration of the throne of Satan and his last day's emissary, omnipotent, omniscient, allegedly omnipresent, Santa Claus. It says, do not eat for his sake that showed it. It says, verse 27, if any of them that practices these things invite you and you desire to go, first, whatever is put before you, eat nothing. Ask questions about the food because of consciousness. See the difference? If something is set before you and you're suspicious, or you're suspicious of their celebration and the way they celebrate the Gentile, they may not be Gentile, they may really love the Lord, but they don't have the light of Torah, you are to make sure you don't show up at their altar. And if somehow you wind up at their altar, you ask questions for consciousness' sake before you take a spoonful. That's the way it really reads in the Aramaic. Blessed be his true word. And I have, by Yahweh's grace, I have restored that. In the Restoration Scriptures, in the newest editions. So it says the opposite of what it appears to say. Because of the idolatry rampant in Corinth, don't just show up at Passover, because sometimes, even at Passover, there could be 2 cups there, or people who are drinking from 2 cups, or there could be food at Pesach that has already been sacrificed to demons in Athens and Corinth, and before you show up, don't assume that now that they're saved and that it's kadosh to Yahweh. Ask questions. Give this to Anna, please. Please. What a difference a few words make. Thank you. What a difference. Are we on? If there's a demonic practice that you're not comfortable with, that you're not sure about, or if there is a practice that is not Israelite, 1 John 5:21, Marcel kicks in. Brethren, guard yourself. Yourself. Not the rabbi, not the apostle, not the bishop. You are responsible. In other words, well, I was hungry, man. I hadn't eaten in 10 hours, Lord. And I went through McDonald's. I told the woman, no bacon. Talk to me, because I know when you're lying. And you were so hungry, you were not reasoning right. Your reasoning had left you. And you took a couple of bites, you calmed down, your anxiety and your stress left, and lo and behold, she did. Alright, so we ask questions beforehand if we have any suspicion. If someone teaches us or instructs us in ways that are clearly not Israelite, or they are nebulous, they're not 100% sure, or if Yahweh reveals to you, listen, that a food, a tradition, have a pagan origin or connection, do not eat or participate. Look at verse 28. Look at verse 28. If any man says to you, or if the Ruach HaKodesh chose you. Let's say that again. If any man says to you, or, let's say, even if the Ruach HaKodesh shows you. 1 Corinthians 10:28. This thing is a demonic practice. There is something here that has been dedicated and sacrificed to idols. Do not eat for his sake who showed it as a witness, to be a good witness, and for your own conscience before Yahweh, because Yahweh can still feed you even if you reject that food that you have questions about. For the earth is the master of Yahweh's and the fullness thereof. They may reject you, but the earth is Yahweh's and the fullness thereof. They may not talk to you, but the earth is Yahweh's and the fullness thereof. They may cut off your food stamps, but the earth is Yahweh's and the fullness thereof. Somebody give him praise in the house of Yahweh today. Brethren, it's never wrong to do right, and brethren, it's never right to do wrong. Never. If you have a suspicion that something is nogging the egg and egging the nog, or has a Yule-tide connection, don't deal with it. Don't listen to it. And I have to repent. Can I be honest? I've been involved with Christmas. Et tu, Brute? Si, senor. Si. Jaman. It was all because of Jah love. But I got involved. Look, you should see your faces. You ready for confession? Confess your faults one to another and you shall be what? Free and healed. Ready? Every December 25th, I turn on NBC. You know some clown's going to write me. Listen, don't write me. I'm not answering. Rivka's sleeping by choice, and I put on midnight mass. Not because I'm trying to participate in the mass, because it's a hard thing serving Yahweh. It's very difficult serving Yahweh, and I need to laugh once in a while, because the word of Yahweh says, "Merry heart maketh like medicine." So when I see these guys in pajamas and wooden shoes, orange and blue striped suits with wooden Pinocchio shoes, I'm sitting there and I'm laughing my guts out. So I'm not watching to learn, and I'm not doing it to dishonor Yahweh. I'm doing it because I'm saying, Yahweh, let me see what kind of pajamas these guys are wearing so I know how to take the pajamas off and get them blood washed. You with me? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for Yahweh. I'm doing it to ridicule them and have a good laugh. So I'm not really into Christmas, Judith. It's just that I felt it was time for me to come clean. That every Christmas Eve, I turn on the station to look for the big Pinocchio shoes and the pajamas. So Father, forgive me, I know not what I do. So starting this year, no more midnight mass. Because it's a weird altar. But you understand, I wasn't doing it to grow in Yeshua, I was just doing it to goof. But I mean, ridicule is wrong. You should have mercy for the folks who still don't see. Amen? So starting this year, no more bad boy. But you know someone's going to send me a letter, right? It's happening. It's happening. It's already happening. Someone's sitting at their keyboard. And someone's going to send it to Brother Willis and Brother Ex-Con and Brother Rabbi Moshe celebrar di felice. See? And it's not true. I don't celebrate it. I just have to stop watching Midnight Mass. Yeah, I don't want to watch Midnight Mass, and there's other ways I can entertain myself. Right? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. All right, I confess. Just be fortunate you don't have to confess. Thank you. I'm healed. Now, let's go down. Let's start winding this down. 1 Corinthians 11, 1 through 3. 1 Corinthians 11, 1 through 3. Be imitators of me, even as I also am of Mashiach, Rav Shaul says. I praise you, Israelite brothers, that you remember me, Rav Shaul, in all things, and keep the chukim and the mishpatim as I have what? Delivered them to you. Meaning we are to remember the Torah, the chukim, and the mishpatim, the rules and the judgments that Yeshua came to renew in our hearts, and the Rav Shaul came to teach the Corinthian believers, the Ephraimites in Corinth. He says, go back to verse 2. So we are called to imitate, now don't miss this, we are called to imitate Rav Shaul, who in turn imitates who? Moshiach, and their Hebraic tradition in every way as delivered through them. I'll say that again. We are called to imitate Rav Shaul because he imitated Moshiach in his Hebraic tradition in every way as it was delivered to us through them. Does everyone see that? Get over it. I'm not going to watch Midnight Mass. Just get over it and pay attention. I see somebody still going. Now I really know what's going on in Margate. See, but my heart was in the right place. I wasn't doing it to grow. I was doing it was wrong to, there's still an altar that even though our Catholic friends need the full truth. But anyway, so we are to, come on, Brett, I'm not asking you what you're doing, so don't ask me. Listen, we are to imitate Rav Shaul because he was imitating the Torah and the Hebraic customs that he learned from Yeshua. You follow me? So we imitate Rav Shaul, who imitated Yeshua. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Meaning Rav Shaul did not participate in any pagan altars. Correct? Yeshua did not participate in any pagan altars. Correct? That's how we are to follow Yeshua. We are not to participate, and that goes for me too, because no more midnight mass. I don't want to participate in any, even if it's on my tube. You understand? So anyway, I confess. Matthew 10:5. How many are enjoying? See, and you thought I was perfect. Something my wife knew a long time ago, you just found out on December 22nd. Matthew 10:5. Matthew 10:5. These 12, speaking about the Talmidim, Yahshua sent forth and commanded them, saying, do not go the way of the Gentiles by staying away from pagan practices. Into any city of the Shomronim do not enter. Rather go to the lost sheep that have strayed from Beit Israel. Okay, we got a problem. We got a problem. The whole crux of the two-house truth, the whole crux of the two-house message is that the 10 tribes are where? Are where? The fullness of the Gentiles. Isn't that the whole premise of what happened to the 10 tribes? They mixed with the Gentiles. They assimilated with the Gentiles. They went out into the Gentiles. They are one flesh. They are indistinguishable from the Gentiles. And here, you hear us saying that through the preaching of the Besorah, the Ephraimites, or the 10 tribes, come in because the 10 tribes have become what? The fullness of the what? The Melo HaGoyim, right? The Melo HaGoyim, or the fullness of the what? Gentiles. And here Yeshua said in Matthew 10:5, don't go to the Gentiles. Well, if we can't go to the Gentiles, how the heck are we going to bring the 10 tribes back into the truth of Yeshua and the King of Israel and Torah? You get me?
Yeah.
You have Rabbi Moshe saying one thing, and then you have Yeshua saying something else. I teach the two-house truth, believing it's true, saying you'll find the 10 tribes in churches and among those who live and practice Gentile practices among the Gentile nations. And here Yeshua says, when you preach the Besorah, verse 5, do not go the way of the Gentiles. But again, in the Restoration Scriptures, we understand what Yeshua is saying. Let's read it in the Restoration Scriptures. True Name Edition. Yeshua sent forth and commanded them, saying, do not go the way of the Gentiles by staying away, listen, from pagan practices. It's in the Aramaic Peshitta. It says, staying away from. Now that means that I can go to the Gentiles with the blood of Yeshua to bring the 10 tribes of Israel back from the nations. The two-house truth is still valid. But as I go, as you go, we are to make sure we don't fall into these altars that trap us, that are really pagan practice altars. Meaning, when we go to the Gentiles, fine. But in your going, don't go the way they go. Stay away from the way they go. Go there, looking, verse 6, for the lost sheep that have strayed from Beit Yisrael. Notice, Matthew 10:6. Go to the lost sheep that have strayed from, meaning you're going to find the 10 tribes, the lost sheep that have strayed from Beit Yisrael, exactly where I told you they would be, Genesis 48:19, today's Torah Parsha, Romia 11:25, exactly where I told you they'd be among the Gentiles. But listen, when you're going, protect yourself, 1 John 5:21, guard yourself from idols. See the difference? Go to the Gentiles, Jen, because that's where you're going to find my lost sheep of the house of Israel that have strayed. But do it in a manner where you don't adopt their way. Don't go their way, but go find them. Did I make this up in the Restoration Scriptures, Britt? No. I took it right out of the Aramaic Peshitta, the original autograph of the Brit Chadashah. We go quickly for the sake of hunger pains. Yirmiyahu 10 and verse 1. Yirmiyahu 10 and verse 1. And by the way, the mystery of the olive tree, while we're turning there, the mystery is not that Gentiles will be saved. That's a joke. Messianic Judaism is wrong. That's why we're not Messianic Jews. They tell you, oh, the mystery of the olive tree is that Gentiles are going to come to God for the first time. Incorrecto, mi amigo. Ruth was a Gentile. Rahab was a Gentile. Abraham was a Gentile before Yahweh appeared to him in Genesis 11 and 12. Yahweh has always dealt with the Gentiles. So the fact that Gentiles believe in Yahweh is not a novum. Rather, the mystery of the olive tree is the identity of the latter-day Gentiles. There's your mystery. They are really the returning 10 tribes of Ephraim, Israel. There's your mystery. The mystery is not that Gentiles will believe in Yahweh. That's always happened. The mystery is the identity of the fullness of the Gentiles. Yirmiyahu chapter 10, verse 1. This I'm going to read without explaining, because if you can't see this here, Daryl, you're going to hear this, and you'll hear it, and you'll understand it. If you can't see a Christmas tree here, all my teaching in the world is not going to help you see the Christmas tree. I had some guy on the internet said, Rabbi, this is not talking about a Christmas tree. This is talking about the tree of Nimrod. Whatever, whoever, it's the same thing.